Okay. Call to order the South Carolina Water and Sewer Authority Board of Directors meeting for November 12th, 2025. And I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight. Thank you for coming out to our meeting. And we'll go to our roll call.
Commissioner Gooch.
Here.
Commissioner Kaczynski.
Present.
Commissioner May.
Here.
Councilperson Daniels.
Present.
Commissioner McLeod.
Present.
Commissioner Way.
Present.
All are accounted for.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And now we'll go to an invocation with Creedmoor Commissioner Robert Way.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening. We ask you to be with us, help us, and guide us as we make decisions that affect our communities. Lord, we ask you to be with those in the community right now that may be needing your help and your guidance. It's been a true testament of time the last few weeks and months. Lord, please be with those as requested. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And now for our Pledge of Allegiance, Creedmoor Commissioner and Vice Chair Seguasa, Juliana Kaczynski.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Is there any adjustments that we need to make to the meeting agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll call for a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? We have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Then we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you. Review of the October 14th, 2025 board meeting minutes. And I trust we've all had a chance to review these. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve the October 14th, 2025 board meeting minutes. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Did we have anyone sign up for public comments tonight?
We've not received any this evening.
Okay, so we didn't have anyone for public comments. All right. Let's move on to item 8, board discussion items, and that's on page 23.
26.
Okay.
26. Yeah.
No, 26 and 27. I'm lucky to be here tonight. Board discussion. Prior to each month's regularly scheduled board meeting, the board secretary surveys the South Carolina Water and Sewer Authority board members to see if they have any discussion topics for the upcoming board meeting. The following are responses received regarding discussion items for this board meeting. And I have one, and that's consideration to add a new section to the meeting agenda. And it's adding conflict of interest declaration to the meeting agenda. And as at the October 14th, 2025 board meeting, 2 members disclosed potential conflicts of interest related to separate agenda items. In response, the board chair considered adding a standing item to future agendas to allow members to declare any actual or perceived conflicts. Although the chair has the authority to amend the agenda without a vote, I prefer to first discuss this proposal with the full board before implementing any changes. And Seguasa bylaw, Article 7, conflicts of interest. A conflict of interest shall include any matter from which a member of Seguasa would, by reason of contractual or family relationship, stand to have a direct interest in the outcome of any matter to be determined. Any conflict or possible conflict shall be disclosed to the other members and recorded when the interest becomes a matter of board action. Members with a conflict shall not vote or influence the matter and shall not be counted in determining quorum unless required by law. Meeting minutes shall reflect the disclosure, abstention, and quorum status. This does not prevent the board from briefly stating their position or answering pertinent questions. New board members will be advised of this policy upon assuming office. And contracts for personal benefit is GS 14-234, makes it a class 1 misdemeanor for any elected or appointed public officer or public employee to derive a direct benefit from a contract that he or she makes or administers on behalf of the public agency he or she serves. Further, no public officer or employee may solicit or receive any gift, favor, reward, service, or promise of reward, including a promise of future employment in exchange for recommending, influencing, or attempting to influence the award of a contract by the public agency he or she serves. GS 133-32 makes it a class 1 misdemeanor for any public officer or employee who is responsible for preparing plans for specifications for public contracts, awarding or administering such contracts, or inspecting or supervising construction to willfully receive or accept any gift or favor from a contractor, subcontractor, or supplier who has a contract with a government agency and has performed under such a contract within the past year or anticipates bidding on a contract in the future. An example of the meeting agenda with a conflict of interest declaration added is found below. And this is up to the board what you want to do with this. If you want to add it to the thing.
I have a question.
Yes.
Says Sawaska bylaw, Article 7, conflicts of interest is already in the bylaws. Right?
Yes, that's correct.
And you're just asking if we want to add it to the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it only came up because we had two that had a perceived conflict
Right.
on items we were voting on. And we haven't had a problem in the past. I don't anticipate one in the future, but I just wanted to lay it out here for us to consider. And
Well, I think it's good to add it. I mean, it reminds you about it until, you wait and get to an item, you may not even think about it until you get into a discussion and realize it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with adding it to the agenda.
Okay. Anyone else got any comments?
I think that it's a great thing to do, and as long as we all review the agenda before the meeting, this should not be a problem to add at the beginning of the meeting and call for any conflict of interest declarations. I think it's a great idea.
Okay. Anyone else got any statements, opinions, questions? If you'd like to put that in the form of a motion, we'll vote on it.
So move.
All right. We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries, and we will add this to our agenda from this day forward until someone else changes it in the future. All right. Our next item is item 9, and that is the federal government shutdown, impact of the federal government shutdown on utility customers employed by federal agencies. And this is a board discussion, and it's presented by Executive Director. Would you like to?
I sure would, Mr. Chair. Thank you, board members. So just a brief here as far as the background for this item. At the previous board meeting, the October 14th board meeting, concern was raised regarding the impact of the federal government shutdown on Saguaso utility customers employed by federal agencies. The board requested information on how Cumberland County, North Carolina, home to a large federal workforce, was responding to similar challenges. So Following the meeting, I did research into support programs available in Cumberland County and also Granville counties. Cumberland County has implemented a range of assistance options, and Granville County has also listed a range of options. I provided those to the board this evening in the agenda packet. You will see further down the page on page 28 in terms of the analysis. I provided you with the Cumberland County support overview in terms of their utility assistance and also food and housing support on page 29 and employment and financial counseling. Additionally, on page 29 of your agenda, I've also summarized what's available in Granville County and the broader North Carolina region, talking about unemployment benefits that are available, food and emergency assistance, and shutdown assistance, and also health insurance continuity. So this is the information that was asked to be researched. I provided that to the board for your continued discussion on this item. As far as just a staff recommendation, we will continue to rely on our customer service staff to refer affected customers to DES and FEEA resources and continue to coordinate with local churches and nonprofits to identify additional support options. So be happy to add any additional information, answer any questions the board may have, and hopefully you find the information in front of you responsive to the question that was asked at the previous board meeting.
Is this on our website?
Well, the agenda itself is published on our website, but there isn't a specific page yet for this information.
Can we have that now?
I'm sure
Yes,
we
we
can.
can. Tomorrow.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But we haven't adopted it. This is just for informational purposes only.
Correct.
I think the county's,
We don't have to adopt it, right?
I think the county program is a good one, a very good one. And I like Granville County, I should say, not Cumberland County. I like the Granville County one, but we're not there yet.
Well, this is not a moot point yet because they hadn't officially voted on it. At the House hadn't officially voted on it, and they're supposed to be doing it within the hour. So the shutdown may end tonight, or it may not end tonight. Yes, please.
I don't think it hurts to have the Granville County information on the website, just because they have shutdown. We may have other people during different periods of time lay off or just financial hardship, and it would provide them some direction in lieu of shutdown.
And
Does Granville County have it on their website?
I think you do.
Okay.
You just put together a comprehensive list of all nonprofits, full shelter, food shelter, so forth and so on. The county manager distributed that to us recently. And Terry's usually pretty good about getting those up, and I'm sure the chair can check. But whether they have it or not, which happen to be a commissioner of that board, we can, if not, we can lead the way.
I think, and this is a Jim question, if we put this on our website, it can be conceived that we've adopted it. That's my concern.
I think it's just informational. I don't think it's.
As long as it says for information only, I just want to make sure it says that.
Yeah.
Because we don't shut water off for 60 days. And we haven't been out for 60 days, shut down for 60 days yet, I don't believe.
We'd be happy to bring up the page and put this information, available resources on our webpage, and we'll point to these different resources. And as we become aware of others, we can continue to build that page as well.
And I agree. It's a good idea to have this information available on the web page where, if people go to it, they have a list of agencies to apply to.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we place this on the website. This information related to assistance regarding assistance programs for Broward County and the broader North Carolina region.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We'll put this information on the website. And we have, our next item is item 10, and it's the 26 holiday schedule. And the board approved the proposed 2026 schedule of holidays and consider adding a personal day for employees in lieu of adding President's Day as an official Saguasa holiday. And this item was tabled at our October meeting, and it's brought back tonight. And our presenters are our Executive Director, Human Resources Manager, Priscilla Adcock. And which one of you going to?
I'll lead this. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chair and board members. So as the chair mentioned at the October 2025 board meeting, a proposal to add President's Day as an official holiday was tabled. In response to the discussion and the tabling of that topic, staff evaluated alternative options to provide employees additional time off without adding a fixed holiday or a new holiday to the schedule. After reviewing flex day, floating holiday, and personal day options, staff recommends granting, or the board consider granting, one personal day per employee annually beginning in fiscal year 26-27, so not the current fiscal year. And this personal day is to support a work-life balance while maintaining operational flexibility. So the board is asked to approve the proposed 2026 holiday schedule, Exhibit A, which excludes President's Day, and consider adding one additional personal day, 8 hours per employee starting in FY 26 and 27, with the idea that this additional day can be considered later on in budget development after the first of the year as we're preparing for the fiscal year 26-27 budget. And if the board wants to move in that direction, then staff will develop a draft policy and present it to the board members at the appropriate time. It's a little bit different approach than the previous item that was presented at the last board meeting. Again, just asking the board to consider the proposed 2026 holiday schedule in Exhibit A, which excludes President's Day, and consider, but that doesn't have to be considered this evening, adding an additional personal day, 8 hours per employee starting in the next fiscal year. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
I think we should add this to the Finance Committee's next meeting for consideration in next year's budget.
I second. Is that a motion?
Are you putting that in the form of a motion?
I make a motion that
Okay.
we add this agenda item to the Finance Committee's agenda so we can consider it for next year's budget.
And we have a second. Is there any discussion on the motion?
What's the date of y'all's next meeting?
We don't have one right now.
We voted. I don't know if everybody voted on that date.
Yeah.
Christopher, you
It's
voted?
not going to be till February, I think. Is that right,
Yeah.
Scott?
Excuse me?
The next Finance Committee meeting won't be until February, January?
Yeah, I'm going to push out the schedule.
Point of order, Mr. Chair, this has to be approved, the holiday schedule has to be approved. However, the Finance Committee, when they do meet, they can decide on the personal day, and we can come back and add it as an amendment. But going forward, they have to have their schedule in advance since we're here at the final hours.
That's true.
That is true.
So we need to vote on the calendar as is.
Okay. Do I hear a motion on the calendar as is?
So you have to have them rescind their motion first, because she's already motioned. and
Okay.
seconded.
I will amend my motion to say we can approve the 2026 holiday schedule as is and discuss the addition of a personal day or President's Day at the Finance Committee meeting in January.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And do I still have a second on
Yes, you
that?
do. You have to.
Have a second on the amended motion. Is there any discussion on the amended motion? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. We've approved the holiday schedule and referred the personal day to the Finance Committee for discussion and possible inclusion in next year's budget. All right. Item number 11, North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, NCDEQ, Water Treatment Plant Master Plan Asset Inventory Assessment, AIA, Program Grant. McGill Associates Task Order for Scope of Services. And Mr. Roy, would you like to take this?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Our executive summary of this item, Saguasa has secured $150,000 from NCDEQ AIA grant to support a comprehensive water treatment plant master plan. This plan addresses aging infrastructure, regulatory compliance, including PFAS mitigation, and modernization of mapping and hydraulic modeling. McGill Associates, who assisted with the grant application, has submitted task order 25-4 for board approval. The total project cost is not to exceed $180,000, with work to be completed by March 2027. I provided plenty of information for you in terms of the background and the analysis. I've also provided you with key tasks of the Water Treatment Plant Master Plan AIA projects found at the bottom of page 33. In summary, this task order is above my authorization amount by the board. Therefore, I'm bringing this item for the board's review and approval for the task order. And if the board were to approve the task order, then the project will be approved to start with McGill Associates, and they will be given the notice to proceed. In terms of the attachments included in tonight's agenda item, we have Exhibit A, the McGill Associates Task Order 25-4, and in terms of Exhibit B, attaches the project description and summary of the Saguasa Water Treatment Plant Master Plan AIA. I'll be happy to answer any questions the board may have about this project, and just want to mention again that this is, I would say, step 3 or 4 in the process in terms of managing grants. The board will recall in last board meeting in October that you approved an item regarding a resolution regarding this item. So getting the task order approved by the board, if that's how the board decides to proceed, then we will start on this project. I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Yes. Do we have any questions for Scott? And the staff recommendation is that the Board of Directors approve McGill Associates Task Order associate to the AIA grant. If there's no discussion, we entertain a motion. We have a motion. Do I hear a second? We have a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? All right, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
No.
We have one nay. No. Ayes have it. Motion carries. And we move on to item 12, Brames Crossing Phase 2 Water and Sewer Extensions in Creedmoor. And this item is on page 42 in your agenda packet. All right, Chris, you're going to.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Hope that everybody's doing well. The topic is Brames Crossing Phase 2 Water and Sewer Extensions in Creedmoor, North Carolina. And I'm seeking board approval for the extensions. Executive summary. Saguasa seeks board approval to extend water and sewer infrastructure for Phase 2 of Brames Crossing in Creedmoor, North Carolina. There is a typo here. It should be adding 113 lots to the 58 already that are underway. The project includes 5,883 feet of gravity sewer and 6,852 feet of water lines. No wastewater will be accepted until the I-85 sewer improvement project is completed in 2028. The extension will be developer funded and inspected by Saguasa with future revenue expected from new customers. Analysis. As residential and commercial development continues to increase throughout the Saguasa service area, extensions to Saguasa's water and sewer infrastructure are necessary. Per our standards and specifications, if an extension to the authority's water and sewer system is proposed, the extension will be approved by the Saguasa board. No extension shall result in costs being borne by the authority unless the extension is initiated by the authority to improve efficiency or reduce costs. Again, proposal to add 5,883 linear feet of new 8-inch gravity sewer lines 6,852 linear feet of new water lines. Next steps, following the board approval, North Carolina DEQ application for both water and sewer line extensions will be signed by SIGWASA and the developer, and then provided to DEQ for their review and approval. So our recommendation is to approve the water and sewer extension request as shown.
Yeah. Any questions?
Sorry. Yeah, I have a question. I'm new,
Yes, sir.
so help me with the engineering on this. So are these looped or?
There are some dead end mains here.
And so,
In cul-de-sacs, there are dead end mains. At every single dead end main that we have, as requested, there are going to be auto flushers at every single dead end main to allow water to continuously flow. Now, those auto flushers will be turned on from time to time to allow water to circulate.
they're external, correct?
Yes, sir.
So just a question. Want to have the developer loop them?
I'm sorry.
Can we have the develop? Would it help the developer require that they were looped, and that way we would not have to do that? And of course, it would be a cost to the developer, but wouldn't that be better for?
Ideally, that would be the case. You cannot feasibly loop every single water main. The system actually technically is looped. If you look at the Exhibit A shown, I know it's a little bit hard to see, but I think it's on Sam Moss Hayes. It's either Sam Moss Hayes or Moss Hayes Road. There are two entrances to this subdivision, one for phase 1, the second for phase 2 that's being proposed. Technically, there is a loop here to that line. Now, all the rest of this has dead end mains that go into cul-de-sacs. Again, it's not feasible for design to make every single line loop here. You would have to extend through other people's property, you'd have to get easements through the property, stuff like that. So in order to combat that, what we've done is we put auto flushers on each dead end main.
Does that come?
When
with
they came to us with the second set of plans to change the number of houses they were building, it came to Creedmoor, and we had discussed and told them that there were 14 dead ends, and we wanted auto flushers at every single one of them. As far as easements, these lots aren't sold yet, so no easements required. This subdivision's not built yet. I don't understand. We wouldn't need an easement.
In order to loop the system back on itself, you would have to loop through another subdivision.
Okay, which is
Another subdivision that I think
would be
it's
Paddington.
Sotheby that's to the south of that. So you'd have to technically loop it through that other subdivision.
But at that time, Creedmoor made the decision we would let them cut down on the number of houses if they agreed to put auto flushers in. And at that time, the state had already changed some rules for auto flushers in another city. And they said, well, the state's coming through with this anyway, so we might as well do it now. But the legislation still hadn't been passed. But their agreement was with Creedmoor, and it was the only way we were going to do it. So that's why we went with auto flushers instead of looping. But you're right. Going forward, looping would be a lot easier.
Now, I will say that there is dead end mains are never a great thing. Dead end mains are never a great thing. We understand that because there's problems associated with water quality and degraded water, and as well as fire flows. However, there are certain places that you cannot feasibly loop a line. Looping a line on itself is not technically a loop. You're not getting increased fire flows because of it. If you were to loop it to a separate line, that's a different story. So, but we take every precaution we can to prevent dead end mains when possible. In instances where we cannot prevent dead end mains, we try to do things such as install auto flushers, stuff like that to promote better water quality.
So when the auto flushers are installed, is that something, who pays for that?
That's the developer that pays for it.
And they'll have to pay for that auto flusher and the maintenance of that auto flusher and all the stuff that goes along with that auto flusher from now until when?
So once the auto flusher is installed, once the subdivision comes online, once they get final approval, that infrastructure becomes ours. They do have a 1-year warranty in which they're supposed to fix things that need to be fixed, raised valve boxes or whatever the case is. The infrastructure is still ours. So at the time of final approval, that is when we take responsibility for it.
And again, this is educational for me.
Yes, sir.
So what's the cost of having an auto flusher and what's the impact of that?
I can break it down as simple or as complex as you want. An auto flusher is just, okay, I'll just start with basic. An auto flusher just does that. It turns water over.
Right.
It's basically flipping a switch and it turns water over. You have water that's essentially spilled on the ground to promote good water quality. Now, you can look at that from a revenue standpoint if you want to, from a couple of different ways. Technically, you really want to turn that water over, to promote good water quality. So the cost is negligible if you consider having to send staff out, turn fire hydrants, turn blow-offs. A blow-off mechanism generally sits at the ground level. We are trying to get away from blow-offs and promote auto flushers instead. We don't want things to get lost in the field. This helps to make it, I won't say it's a complete turnkey process, but it makes it easier and more automated. So it actually helps to decrease the amount of staff time needed to turn that water over.
And this is just going to be just a general question. Based on your analysis, this is good engineering and loop or where they're dead end and the construction therein, configuration is appropriate and not something that we could have done a better job on or planning in.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, again, dead end lines is not something you will ever get away from. You will always have a percentage of dead end lines. However, at those dead end lines, you do everything you can to promote good water quality, and that's what we've done here.
Thank you, Chris.
Any other questions for Chris?
I have a question.
Yes.
How many dead ends do we have in this?
For this phase, let's see, 1,
Did I count 12? Is that right?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 cul-de-sacs in this phase.
In the whole?
This is only for phase 2. I haven't counted the number of auto flushers. I think there was maybe 3 or 4 in phase 1. So 10 or 11 total.
So where'd the other 3 go?
The other 3 for phase 1.
Okay, got it.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a total of 14.
Again,
Because I went back to our documents and it was 14 in our plan.
For phase 2, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seven cul-de-sacs for this phase. For phase 1, if I'm looking at this correctly, it's 1, 2, 3. 3 for phase 1.
Okay. So, Chris, it's going to cause an erosion problem.
We have asked them to pipe it to storm drain.
Awesome.
There are places for dechlorination tablets to take chlorine out of the water. We've asked them to pipe it to the storm drain. I believe there's curb and gutter here,
Yeah.
so they will pipe it directly to that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Any further questions for Chris?
Mr. Chair, for me, just a note, I think just to kind of summarize what Chris was saying, it's a very cost-effective and efficient way to maintain water quality in our mains. That's why we've chosen this approach. And the requirement that we have as far as the spec on the auto flusher is very advanced as far as what it allows us to do and what we can monitor from that device. So we're excited about this installation that we have. Additionally, we are going through upgrades to our specifications and our standards. Presently, we haven't brought that to the board yet as far as the final, but it's on the horizon. And within that document, we're looking at standardization of that model, that installation, basically for designs, repeating what you see here in front of you this evening. So it's just included as far as a standard for us. Thank you.
Anything that was done beforehand, we're trying to promote that.
Okay. All right.
Can someone tell me the number of housing units that was approved for this subdivision for water and sewer allocation? Because it was before my time on the board, but I thought it was over
7.
It was over 100 houses that were approved to have water and sewer allocation already.
We're at 171
As it sits
now.
here with this current phasing plan, phase 1 and phase 2 together have 171. Now, I don't know what was approved allocation-wise previously by this board, but this is what's proposed here, is 171 lots with phase 1 and phase 2 together.
Right. That's what I would like to know is what was approved back in
Previously,
2000,
Well,
because this was one of the projects that was approved with water and sewer allocation already. With a larger plan, I think they reduced their number of houses. So I thought it was somewhere around 180 or so houses that were approved for water and sewer allocation.
originally it was 188, and then they came back to us and dropped it down to 171.
So if the
But
project,
you're right.
so
You're right.
my question is, if the project was approved by a previous SAGWASA board granting them water and sewer allocation for 180 houses, and now we're saying we have to wait for them to do this work, and we can't give them the allocation until 2028, but they should already have the allocation.
They have 45,000 gallons a day.
So
But you're right. They're not going to need 45,000 gallons a day because they cut it down.
that's what I'm just trying to.
You're right.
We'll get the numbers for you. Just
Recall that in the last 10 years, more specifically in the last couple of years, the system development fees and capacity fees have changed as far as the structure of how they're paid for. Previously, a developer would come in and base their request off a proposed number of lots, and they would pay a 10% fee, and then they would pay a balance at the end. There'd be a true up, basically, at the end as far as what their actual allocation was. So we'll go back and look at our information. Chris, we have that information available. We'll look that up and provide that back to the
I
board.
just make sure we're right, because I know what our new allocation is now.
in 2018,
17. Creedmoor gave them the
in
allocation.
2018, they came before SAGWASA. And, that's when they requested the allocation. We give them, conditional allocation based on paying 10%. Then they stalled for 2 or 3 years and, finally paid the entire amount of the allocation, whatever it was at that time. And then after that, it kind of fell by the wayside because they got back. It was an on again, off again project. They came to us and wanted to move the allocation to another site. They came to Creedmoor board numerous times and changed it back and forth. So I'm not sure exactly where.
I understand your question.
I just want to make sure.
To better answer your question, let me go back and do some research if you don't mind.
I just want to make sure all our I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's been such a long time and such a long process with this particular development that I don't even know where we stand with it, because it kept getting batted back and forth in Creedmoor, and I don't even remember where we stood on it, because
we have that all written down. We'll be able to research
Okay.
and provide that information.
And we possibly will probably have the documentation as well on Mr. Franco's office.
yeah,
That's where it started back then, yes.
yeah. So we'll get that documentation, but honestly, it's been so many years and so many changes. I don't think anybody can remember off the top of their head what happened when. But anyway, the recommendation is SAGWASA staff recommends the board members approve the water and sewer extension request of 5,883 feet of gravity sewer and 6,852 feet of water lines for Phase 2 of Breams Crossing in the city of Creedmoor, North Carolina. And what is the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Got a motion. Do I hear a second? I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I've got a question.
Okay.
I know we're talking about allocation, but does that expire? Allocations,
Not the old way.
but I was looking at the date, 2018.
Right. So if I may, there was no, from what I recall on that allocation, similar to other allocations, there was no expiration date on the allocation. In fact, we had some communities that had allocation SDS locked up for years and no building activity. You may recall that we have a subdivision right now finishing up over in the town of Stem that had capacity allocation for many, many, many years and did not perform the construction. So they're just actually finishing that now. So that's how it was done. Currently, you build a lot, you apply for your SDF along with your building permit. So it's controlled more or less in that manner.
It's pretty much if you came and you wanted your water and sewer allocation, you could have your money. Your water and sewer allocation, even if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
But now it's got to be done. You have to have your permits and everything, and that's when you get your allocation.
When did that date occur?
The permits and situation. We did that
That was
last year,
about
2 years ago.
2.5 years ago.
Came before the board. It was all changed. The whole process was changed.
Okay.
We were talking about the change of how the allocations are done now.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
I guess it's going to die.
All right, so I have a question before we move forward. So the motion was made by someone from Creedmoor, but the second wasn't done by someone in Creedmoor. So is there a reason we may not want this to happen?
I have been questioned. I have been contradicted. I don't have an opinion.
So
Since apparently my opinion doesn't matter anymore, so I'm just not saying anything. If somebody else wants to make a second, go right ahead.
So I guess I'm asking you, is this something that Creedmoor does want or doesn't want?
Subdivision's been approved. This is just for the line that has to go in to finish phase 2.
I agree with that statement, but is this something Creedmoor wants or Creedmoor does not want?
We're given an allocation for 171 homes, and now you're telling them they can't use it till 2028. That's wrong. They paid a lot of money for that.
Jimmy, he's out of order.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
I'm sorry, Miss.
in
Ms.
defense of
Gleason,
Mr.
it's out of
Gleason,
order.
he was on the planning board when all of this occurred in the very beginning. I will second this motion.
Now, further discussion on this motion is if the allocation was already approved for 180 homes, then we're going to have to come back and amend the motion based on the information that will be presented to us.
Because why did they get 45,000 gallons a day for the 180 some odd homes, as Commissioner Way said, when they don't need that much anymore? And they've been sitting on this since 2017.
Does this allocation ever sunset or not?
No, we don't have a sunset
That
rule
was
on
a question
allocation.
to our executive director. I'm sorry.
So, Commissioner, this is a great topic this evening, and you have in front of you allocation old, you have allocation new. You have changes to the allocation that's permitted per bedroom different today than it was 8 or 10 years ago. So you are talking various types of apples and a few oranges here in this discussion. So I think they're great questions and a great discussion. I think it would really behoove the board members to allow us to have an opportunity to research the application, what was approved, provide the information to the board so everybody has that information, and we can pick up that discussion again based on the nuances of the different phases that we've had with respect to how things are different now, especially the values. So, for example, there were higher values used per bedroom based on your loading or your capacity of water and sewer back then. So you may have a greater capacity allowance than what's necessary. And if you did the calculations today, it would be less. So I think it's all going to come out where it should be. So I'd just like to offer that to the board as well, if you'd like to have further discussion on this.
Okay. And Scott, I have a question here. In the analysis, it says, please note that no wastewater flows from phase 2 will be accepted into the SCWASA system until the Interstate 85 sewer improvement project is completed in 2028. Is that was that an agreement with the developer?
I think I can't answer that accurately based on the timelines of what was approved and when, and the plans and the different phases and where we are today. I don't have that information to be able to give you that answer.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So now that you've read this sentence here, and so we're saying that LGI can't use this system, even though they've had their allocation since 2017. And we just got 10,000 gallons of allocation in Creedmoor that we're giving out now, which people are using now. How can we tell the developer for this subdivision that they can't use it till 2028? I'm missing something. The allocation was given and it's done. So
That's a great question, Commissioner. Just if you would you just allow me to research that and provide that information back? Because if it was already allocated and as part of the system and sitting out there as far as that capacity, then that capacity was factored into the analysis and the pump stations as it is today. I wasn't prepared, obviously, for the deep discussion about capacity in the last couple of years on allocations, but would be happy to list that out for the board here as well, because we had to take a lot of that information into consideration as we were developing the plans for the I-85 project and the sizing of the infrastructure, specifically the Joe Key pump station, booster station update as well.
But what about any other subdivisions that were approved before and allocations given before we got to this point? Are there any, like the subdivision in STEM and the one in Butner, are they going to be told that they can't use it until?
They're not part of the I-85 project.
Well, neither was this part.
Neither was this.
They don't flow into that subsystem.
They don't flow on the I-85. Now, just to make a point here, LGI did not buy the allocation, did not pay for the allocation. Bill Wynn and Bill Wynn Homes paid for it, and they tried to transfer it, and they came to us to get a transfer to LGI. So,
And it was given to them.
Yes, it was.
So the Bill Wynn part doesn't really matter anymore because this is all right now.
If you get down technically, LGI did not. They assumed it. They didn't buy it.
Okay, but they bought it with the allocation given, right? Is that right?
I would suppose so. I didn't see the contracts between LGI and.
So
and Bill
the way
Wynn.
this paragraph is written, it seems like LGI can build this whole subdivision. They can't sell any homes until 2028.
You're missing that this is phase 2, not phase
all right.
1.
Robert, can you amend that motion and we table this till our next meeting when he can come back with more information?
So the information, yes, sir. I can amend my motion, or I can withdraw it altogether, and we can table this motion because I want to make sure that we're doing the fair thing.
I agree.
Because if
it's
the
already
allocation, if there's already
Yeah.
allocated, then I don't understand why
I
the
agree.
developer would have to wait to do his
I agree.
another phase.
I agree.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we table this until next meeting with more information from our executive director.
And I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. We will table this until our next meeting when we get more information and we can straighten all this out about the allocation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Madam Secretary, I did withdraw my original motion. So.
Sir.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Item 13, fiscal year 25-26 first quarter financial review. And this is a presentation. And Ruben,
Yes, sir. Good evening, board.
good
Good
evening.
evening.
Tonight I'll be presenting the FY 25-26 first quarter financial review presentation. There is no board action is required for this. This is for informational only. Sequoia's FY 2026 first quarter financial update reports that billing and fee revenues are generally on track, with some fee categories outperforming and engineering fees underperforming. Interest income is slightly above forecast due to higher rates and slower spending on the I-85 project. Significant appropriations from both the operating and capital improvement projects funds reflect planned investments, with about 33% of available cash projected to be spent or committed by year end. Departmental expenses align with the amended budget, and financial activities will continue to be monitored. In the following presentation, I will provide a little bit more detail on these items. Some background: to promote greater financial transparency and awareness across the organization, Sequoia has implemented a quarterly financial reporting process to the board. These updates, jointly presented by Finance Director Richard Balmer and myself, provide timely insights into financial performance and fund utilization throughout the fiscal year. The quarterly presentations are scheduled as follows. First quarter, which is what we're doing tonight, is at tonight's the November board meeting. Second quarter, which is October to December, that will be presented at the February board meeting. And the third quarter will be presented at the May board meeting. There will be no quarter four presentation, as this will be covered during the annual auditor presentation that's scheduled to take place in the fall of 2026. So if we go to the presentation, so this presentation is for the first quarter of fiscal year 25-26, which includes July through September of 2025. On the next slide, here's a quick rundown of what I'll be presenting tonight. Section 1, budget ordinance. Section 2 would be revenue budget to actual. 3 would be fund balance. Section 4 would be internally approved budget amendments. Section 5 will be expenses by department, budget to actual. Section 6 will be our I-85 collection system project overview. And Section 7 will be another slide on fund balance and available cash. Next slide. This is the original budget ordinance that was approved by the board back in June. It shows a total revenue of $18,885,826. And on the next slide, it shows the total expenditures for the same amount of $18,885,826. So on the next slide is when we'll get into revenue. Water revenue has a budget of $6.5 million, and we've collected $1,748,740, which is about 27% of budget, and pretty much where we would like to be at this time of the year. Next slide. Sewer revenue. Sewer revenue has a budget of $9.5 million, and we've collected roughly $2.5 million, which works out to about 26%. Again, this is where we would like to be at this time of year after one quarter. Next slide is non-billing revenue. The budget doesn't show on the slide there, but it's for $640,750. And we've collected about $110,000 for quarter one. And it also says 19%, and I did a calculation, it's actually 17%. The percentage is running a little under due to engineering fees being at 3% and connection fees at 4%. These fees are highly dependent on developers and their timelines, so they would not be evenly distributed throughout the year. And if you see in the blue section there, that's what is included in this non-billing revenue. Interest income. Interest income has a budget of $850,000, and we've collected about $335,000, which is about 39%, which is ahead of where we would like to be. And the reason for that is rates have not decreased as projected, and we have not spent our portion of the I-85 project as quickly as projected. Next slide is SDFs. We've collected $22,235 in SDF so far this fiscal year. This is not budgeted in order to not skew the operating budget at the beginning of the year. A budget amendment will be presented closer to year end to capture what has been collected. Fund balance. This slide shows the budget amendments effects on appropriated fund balance through September 30th of this year. So far, we have appropriated about $3.5 million in fund balance, with $2.5 being operating and $1 million being CIP. And each of the blue bars down at the bottom, the first one is the original budget ordinance, and each bar after that is each budget amendment that we've done so far and their effect on fund balance. And when you add up all of the blue bars together, that's how you get the $3.5 million total. Next slide. This is a new slide for this presentation. This shows the executive director approved budget limits during the first quarter. No action is needed from the board and is informational only. In the first budget amendment, you'll see that we reclassed the purchase of an HP DesignJet printer and toner for the project manager. That was approved on 7/3. And for the water treatment plant, this is to reallocate funds for Wi-Fi installation at the water treatment plant. And that was approved on 7/16. None of these had any effect on fund balance. This was moving between line items in a department. I'll pause there to see if anybody has any questions so far. Hear none. Expenses. Administration. For the admin department, we budgeted about 1.3 to 1.4 million and expensed about 280,000, about 21%. Our goal for expenses are 25% or less.
Mm-hmm.
Next slide. Human resources. HR. In HR, we've budgeted 167,000 and expensed about 36,000, which works out to about 22%. So we're on track in this department as well. Next slide. Engineering. In engineering, we budgeted about 705,000, and we've expensed about 62,000, which is about 9% of budget. This percentage is lower due to unexpended funds in the engineer cost share account, and and the recently filled utility inspector position where that position was not filled at the beginning of the year. So those two items make up the majority of why we're only at 9% and not closer to 25%. Next slide. Billing and collections. We budgeted about $582,000 and we've expensed $125,000, which is about 21%. Next slide. Water treatment. Water treatment, we budgeted about $2.7 million and have expensed about $458,000, which works out to about 17%. I did look at this department to see if there was anything major that was causing it to be maybe slightly a little bit less than what we were expecting, but there was nothing. It was a lot of several smaller items such as electricity, uniforms, fuel, but there was no clear one thing causing the decrease. Next slide would be wastewater treatment. Wastewater treatment, we've budgeted about $2,750,000 and expended about $523,000. This works out to about 19%. And like water treatment, no clear line item causing the slightly lower percentage. Next slide is utility maintenance. Utility maintenance, we've budgeted about $4,365,000 and have expensed $533,000 or 12%. This lower percentage is mostly due to vacant positions and turnover, as well as the CCTV line cleaning expense that has not been spent yet, and that was brought to you at an earlier budget amendment this year. Next slide is depreciation, board, and other. In this department, we've budgeted $2.8 million, and we've expensed about $835,000, or roughly 30%. The percentage is skewed due to the insurance premiums being paid at the beginning of the year, which is causing the percentage to be a little bit higher than 25%. Next slide will be projects and studies. The projects and studies department contains a number of one-time projects, with I-85 making up the majority of the budget. The breakdown of the budget is listed on the side here. As construction ramps up on I-85, we will expect the green bar to increase significantly. Please remember that this is just what has been expensed in the first quarter and not the life of the project. So as you can see, the amended budget is $39.8 million, and so far we've expensed $1.1 million in the first quarter. Next slide, debt service. For debt service, out of a budget of $3.7 million, we've expensed $288,000. The percentage lags in this department due to more debt payments being due later in the year. So these slides have been focused on quarterly activity. Before moving on, are there any questions with the expense? Okay. The next slides will show expenses and revenue at a project level and not at a quarterly level. So on this chart here, the I-85 sanitary sewer project, this chart shows the funding sources for this project. $13,941,276 is budgeted out of Seguasa fund balance. $35 million will come from DEQ in the form of an ARPA grant, and $35 million will be available for a USDA loan. The list to the left details what makes up the Sequasa funded amount, if you had any questions. With all the funding sources combined, the total comes to $83,941,276, which is the amount on the bar to the far right. And these amounts were presented to the Finance Committee back in September. Next slide. Did we skip one first? So I have a slide, extra slide here that's maybe go down. Maybe it's okay. So scroll back up. So we'll go to fund balance available cash. So this is a new slide that Richard wanted me to share with you. This shows the fund balance / available cash history with a projection for 6/30/26. The purple line at the bottom is the CIP fund balance, and the green line is the operating fund balance. And the red line is the two of them combined, the total. As you can see, we are expected to use a significant amount of fund balance this year based on what is budgeted and the planned expenses coming in the future. Even though all of I-85 will not be completed by 6/30/26, we treated it as committed funds and is not included in the 20 million number that you see on the far right, 20.514 million. Any questions on this slide?
So anyone have any questions?
All right.
Back to the agenda, please.
Sure.
I have one more slide.
He has a financial summary on page 59.
Did you want to show the slide that was missing previously?
If you have it.
Okay. I'm going to go back up to the slide before
Yes,
that one.
that's the one I was looking for. So this slide here, going back, is related to the I-85 project, and this is the expenditure side of things. This chart shows the budget and actual expenditures for each phase of the I-85 project. Of the legal budget of $2.9 million, we paid $2.7 million. The USD loan budget amount includes budgeted contingency and capitalized interest, and none has been expensed so far. CDM Phase 2 design, we budgeted $5,727,500, and we've expensed $5,683,803. For CDM Engineering Phase 3, CAECO, we budgeted $5,696,000, and we've expensed $279,541. Aaron Construction, Construction Package 1, we budgeted $34,832,000, and we've expensed $3,798,358. And the Parks Construction Package 2, we budgeted $238,282. And if you add up all the blue bars on this chart here, you will get the total on the far right of $83,941,276,000 total budget for this project. And we've expensed $12,533,896. Okay, and then we'll just jump down to the end financial summary. So in summary, for the first quarter, cumulative billing revenue for the year is trending as expected. Cumulative non-billing revenue for the year is trending as budgeted in total, with some fee revenue line items trending higher than expectations, and engineering and tap fee revenue trending significantly below expectations. Interest income for the year is trending slightly higher than expected. Interest rates did not decline as projected, and fund balance to be spent towards the I-85 project has not been expended as quickly as forecasted. Operating fund balance appropriations for the fiscal year are significant. Designated CIP fund balance appropriations for the fiscal year are significant and is projected to be fully expended by fiscal year end. Fund balance available cash, approximately 33% of the 6/30/25 audited available cash is projected to be expended and or committed by the end of the fiscal year. And lastly, departmental expenses overall are materially comparable to the amended budget. I know that was a lot. It was a lot for me. Any questions?
No, no, excuse me, Mr. Chair. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I've not sat through, been to meetings, but not sat one. Can't recall sitting through one of your presentations.
Normally Richard is up here, and this is actually my first one I've done.
But thank you very much. It was very informative and very impressed. So thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else got questions, comments?
Scott, how come this page wasn't included in our agenda? Why was it added later?
I think there was an update done by the finance director post the document being brought over to the agenda when it was prepared last week. So I apologize for that error.
No, it's not in our, I just want to make sure that it gets put in the record on the website that this page is included in there.
We'll make sure that we amend that. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
It's not your fault. You did a great job, Ruben. You know I love your work.
Any other question or comments? If not, we'll move on to, I think this was information only. We didn't have any action on this.
Yes, sir.
Don't sit
Okay.
down. You're still on. Bob.
Yeah, you're still up to bat now. And item 14 is the fiscal year 25 audit update. And again, this item is informational only, and no board action is required.
That is correct. So for a quick update on the audit, FY 2025 audit. FY 25 audit is delayed due to pending GASB 101 guidance and a delayed federal compliance supplement. Despite these challenges, Saguasa staff and the auditor are working to meet the December 31st, 2025 deadline, with potential for deadline extension if needed. No board action is required. Per General Statute 159-34, Saguasa must submit its annual audit to the NC Local Government Commission by December 31st of each year. The FY 25 audit contract was awarded to Winston Williams, Creech Evans and Company in April. And because Saguasa received over $750,000 in federal funds, a single audit is required. Under analysis, audit fieldwork and the draft report were completed in August with a goal to present in October. However, submission is delayed due to factors beyond staff and auditor control, including pending guidance from the LGC on GASB 101 disclosures, as well as a delay in the federal compliance supplement due to the government shutdown. Staff and the auditor are monitoring updates and aiming to still meet the December 31st deadline. So for next steps, the finance director and the auditor will continue to monitor all available guidance from the LGC and federal government sources to complete and submit the audit by the required deadline of December 31st, 2025. In the case that the federal supplement is not available soon, we anticipate further guidance from the LGC and or a possible extension of the filing deadline for FY 25. Any questions on this item?
Any questions for Ruben? Don't think there's any questions, so Ruben will Move on to agenda item 15, and it's the fiscal year 25-26 budget amendment number 9.
I'll present this and then get out of your way. Agenda item 15 is for budget amendment number 9, and we're seeking the board of directors approval for BA number 9. Executive summary, budget amendment number 9 for fiscal year 25-26 proposes reallocating $9,406 from the administration's projects and studies account to the human resources budget to fund the purchase of 3 new time clocks and associated annual software subscriptions. These upgrades are necessary to support the implementation of a new timekeeping system integrated with the Tyler Technologies financial software. The amendment does not affect the overall fund balance as it represents a reallocation within existing budgeted funds. This initiative aligns with Sequoia's strategic plan objectives to enhance operational efficiency and financial management across both water and sewer systems. So budget amendment 9 allocates budget from the admin's projects and studies account for the purchase of 3 new time clocks and the associated annual timekeeping software subscriptions. The new time clocks are needed to implement the new timekeeping software associated with the Tyler Technology financial software upgrade. Please note that the time clock unit cost is $2,095 and the annual subscription for the time clock software is $629. Below here is you'll see summaries of previous budget amendments and their effect on fund balance. On the next page, you'll see that human resources is being increased by $9,406 and projects and studies being decreased by the same amount with no effect on fund balance. On the next page, you'll see the line items and the net effect of fund balance. After reviewing the supporting documentation and any questions, the executive director's recommendation is for the board to approve budget amendment number 9.
All right, so I have a question.
Okay.
Can you explain this time clock?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Priscilla, our HR manager, come on up and say thank you.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening. All right, what's your question?
So I'm asking like a time clock. In my mind, I'm thinking you punch a time clock, but most everything's computerized now. So what is this time clock?
So we're still on paper timesheets for timekeeping, keeping up with vacation, sick time, all that stuff. So now that we have implemented this Tyler system, then we have our payroll changeover happening in the beginning of 26. So once we get on that post-paid payroll, then we will be able to use the time clocks. They'll just punch in a code. And they won't have to write in on the timesheet every day. So when they come in, they punch in their code, that clocks in their time. The same for when they leave. Then they can go online too and submit days off and things like that. But for someone to come in on the computer every morning, we don't have enough computers for that. So it also keeps a running total of their vacation and sick time. So it will just be the plants that are using the time clocks. All the admin staff, we will go on the computer and submit our time.
So you use a digital time clock, basically.
Right.
Instead of the old-fashioned time with the card, it's a digital screen input.
And then the manager will get that report. They'll have to
So it's a
approve it each week.
processor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
And then just
Steer
steer away from all human error.
I'm visualizing. Yeah.
No, not quite like that.
So it's a processor.
It's all digital,
and
yes.
then okay.
And then the
It's
supervisor can go
all
on and approve, and it tallies it all up instead of us having to.
I was hoping that was the thing, but I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Any other questions?
So when we approved the Tyler Technologies for these payrolls, I thought there were time clocks already in the package.
No, so this was just for the pay portion to process the payroll. This is all, that's totally separate. The best way to explain this, do you want to help me? Well, I guess the package that they got in finance is for, well, all the financials and to get the payroll in. I mean, yeah, we could still do paper timesheets, but you've got to have a system that talks to the finance department to get the payroll.
So Scott, I'd like to have a total number for how much this entire payroll, because this is $9,000 more than we first were told.
Yes, Commissioner, I'd be happy to share with the entire board the information I shared with you earlier today based on your question Monday about these costs and the summary of where we are on this. So I will share that with the entire board, which actually breaks down all these costs and the fact that the budget for the time clocks was actually sitting in special projects, a budget within our budget, not specifically HR. Due to the fact that we weren't sure if we were going to use time clocks or apps or automation or computers for this process. And then when we decided that it seemed to be more advantageous to us to use the computerized time clocks, we simply just, through this budget amendment, basically received a proposal, decided to move the budget from one budget area to another, basically to bring this together. So I have all that information already scripted. I'll be happy to share it with the entire board so that they can see that as well.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
And the time, it's just a one-time purchase of the clock.
It's a big step for us.
What is the monthly charges? Does that include maintenance if they
The
break?
yearly, yes, it's $600 a year.
Okay. All right.
And that includes all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Not each.
No.
Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you break down the $1,406 for me?
Sure.
I did 3 times for the clocks, and I get $6,285. And I didn't know if I was, do you have to pay more than one time for the software for each clock?
So I'll try to explain it. So if you look at the supporting documentation slide, yes, that's the right one. The detail of the budget amendment. So the first $629, that's the annual subscription for the time clocks, which was not in the original budget ordinance.
Right.
Below that is $420. That is a prorated annual subscription that Tyler is charging us to get on a common billing schedule with everything else. So we're kind of paying more than 1 year this fiscal year. So this $420 is to get us to May 1st, 2026. And then at May 1st, 2026, they will charge us a full fiscal year, which will carry us until 2027. And that's what those top 2 amounts are.
Okay.
So the 2072 is the
Price of the clock.
2072 is the time and attendance subscription. So you have subscription for the time clocks, and you have a subscription for the time and attendance software. And this 2072 is for the subscription. And it's a prorated subscription. Sorry. That's not the whole annual cost, that's the prorated portion. And then below that, $6,285, that's the 3 time clocks.
Right. Okay, it's just, I was adding up and I didn't get $9,406 in that agenda item.
Okay.
I mean, I understand it now since you presented the reference on the documentation sheet. I probably should have looked at that, but I was reading from the
Right,
executive summary.
those four numbers there on this supporting documentation should add up to 9,406.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Why are we doing a budget amendment for the 629? If the 629 gets us from May of 26 to 2027.
We will, because it will need to be paid this fiscal year,
Before the fiscal year is over.
before the fiscal year is over.
Before 2027's fiscal year is over.
2026 ends in end of June.
But the 420 is from now until May,
Yeah.
Yes,
and then the 629 is May of 26 through May of 20. We're still off. We're not in July,
so
July
I
1st.
don't know if we're getting confused with fiscal year and calendar year.
Yes,
I don't know. So
I'm talking fiscal year. Are you talking?
So I'm talking calendar year.
Okay, got it. That's what it is.
So the 420 gets us to calendar year May 1st, 26.
From now until
From
May.
now until then.
Yes.
And then the 629 gets us from May 1st, calendar year 2026, all the way to April 30th, calendar year 2027. Yes.
That's why I'm asking, why are we doing a budget amendment now for something that's not in this fiscal year? It's in next fiscal year. Wouldn't we do it then?
It's technically in this fiscal year.
It
We're in
begins
25, 26. They're talking
Right.
about 26, 27.
No,
We're not
the
there
629 has to be paid in May.
Yeah,
Is that
it begins
correct?
this fiscal year and they bill us in advance.
yet. Okay,
May
all right,
26.
before the next fiscal year.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Any questions?
Do we have any dates of when these time clocks are coming in?
Yes, we should start training, Reuben, myself, and Richard, will start the training, I think, at the end of the month.
So the clocks will be in and
The
usable?
clocks will be in and usable once we switch over to a postpaid payroll. We can't use them until then, but they will be installed and ready.
Do we have a date for that?
March next year.
Of 26?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing no questions,
Make a motion to pass budget amendment number 9.
all right, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Is there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. And thank you, Reuben. And thank you, Priscilla. And this brings us to agenda item 16, and that's comments from the executive director.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair and board members. I greatly appreciate your discussion this evening, as well as the approvals on the items that we presented this evening. A couple of items that have some follow-up actions, and I've noted those so that we can address those from this day forward. I'd like to thank the presentations we had this evening with Chris and also Reuben. Reuben, thank you very much for the financial presentation that you had. And Priscilla, thank you for stepping in and answering some questions about the time clocks as well. And lastly, Crystal, thank you for your assistance with the agenda prep and the room setup today. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Item 17, comments from our attorney, Mr. Wren. Okay, no comments. And there are comments from our board members. Agenda item 18, Butler Councilperson Vicki Daniels.
I thought we had a real productive meeting in exchange of dialogue. I thought was really good. We picked up on some things and expanded some questions. And I really appreciate everyone being here. It's nice to have people come and be at our sponsor meetings. It's always nice to have more, but I'm sure we might have, well, this goes online later, right? Yeah, so hopefully we'll have some people that will listen there too. I do appreciate everybody's hard work and the staff. So thank you.
And thank you. Creekmore Commissioner Robert Way.
I would just, Mr. Summerlin, do we have an update on the water filter media? The products coming in for the project. The notice to proceed for the contractor was signed on November 3rd. We anticipate that they will start coming on site mid-December. The filter media should be in by mid-December, and we anticipate that they will start that work at that point. Thank you.
Anything else, Commissioner Way?
I have nothing further.
Okay, thank you. Rebel County Commissioner Russ May.
No comments tonight.
Okay, STEM Commissioner Kenneth McLeod.
Thank you to all the staff. Appreciate the hard work y'all do.
Thank you. Criminal Commissioner Georgiana Kaczynski, Vice Chair.
Nothing.
Okay, and as for me, just like to say thank you all for coming out tonight. We've got our wires crossed on allocation, and we'll straighten that out shortly. Should have a memo out within a few days, I hope, but we'll see. And is there any item for closed session?
I think there is an item for closed session.
Yes, there is. I should have written it down. We do have a personnel matter for closed session.
We didn't amend the agenda.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. We failed to add it to the agenda.
Sure did.
That's okay.
But we do have a item for closed session. Is there any other business to come before us tonight? Well, hearing none, we will entertain a motion to
Closed session.
go into closed session with a 10-minute break before we reconvene in closed session.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We have a motion to hear a second.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Here none, we go to the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. We will reconvene in closed session in about 10 minutes.